Hey everybody, welcome to the Pink Riot Comic Show. It's your girl Keisha, aka Hot Havoc, and I am here with my amazingly talented, awesome, wonderful co-host, Bray. How are you, babe?
I'm good. I'm so excited. We're all caught up. All of the episodes of Ironheart, and we got some beautiful blerdy baddies in the building with us tonight. So it's all good vibes. And I've made my green smoothie for the evening. So all is well in the world. Yeah.
You confused me like twice right there. Not even gonna hold you. So you
No,
was
see?
like all caught up, and I was like, caught up with what? My life is
all
I
caught
took
up
it in the general.
like everybody in the chat should be caught up on
This
their
is true.
Ironheart homework.
This is true, and that's
Yeah,
on me. Absolutely. Y'all should have watched it at least twice by now, for real.
At
For
least
real.
twice. Should have watched it
least
twice,
twice.
but let it stream in the background about 3-4 times.
I hear that.
There you go.
Yeah.
How are you, Liv?
I am okay. As you can see. I'm a little on edge, but I think that's just because we have so much going on in the next few weeks, and I'm so excited, so nervous, so I don't know. I'm like, yeah, like I'm on edge for like what's gonna happen for the next couple of steps. What's gonna happen next for Pink Riot?
Y'all, it's pure adrenaline and excitement, and we're learning a lot about each other.
The conversation earlier was definitely like, so look, this may happen. Just trying to let you know. And it's okay. We're gonna get through it.
Yeah. Let us know in the chat if you want to know some of those shenanigans, because we're like beyond planning and preparing to like overblog the hell out of our whole next couple of events. So like, do y'all want us to like, actually, I'm not even gonna ask that because you're getting the content. It's gonna happen. Chaos shall ensue. But yeah, we definitely want to like get feedback from our guests about what their con experiences are like and what their do's and don'ts are too. We're just gonna bombard them with hella questions we didn't tell them we were gonna ask because we know they can handle it. So let's bring them on in here.
All right. Welcome back. We're gonna have Dr. Christian Hines coming back talking about Ironheart, and then we're gonna introduce Dr. Ravynn Stringfield. I'm so excited for this conversation. Y'all have no wait. Dang it, I could have done. You're a real one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brie.
Got you.
How are y'all doing today?
We're good. Well, I'm good. I was speaking for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm good.
So
I'm good.
Feeling that.
Listen, we're breaking Pink Riot records around here. We got multiple doctorates in the building and whatnot, you know.
Say that one more time. Blerdy baddies in the house. Yes. Like this is great. Right? I'm so excited. So excited. Okay. So for those who do not know, because Dr. Christian Hines, she had explained herself last show, but both of them work in Black Comic Studies. Both of them do different things in Black Comic Studies, I believe, right? Like Christian, you focus more on education. And Ravynn, what is your focus in comic studies?
So I come from an American Studies background, which is one of those really fun interdisciplinary programs where you can pull a lot of different things. And my focus was on literature and media studies. So I was kind of coming at it from that perspective. And then what's nice is even once you get deeper into that, you can decide like what facets you're going to focus on. And so I was focusing a lot on Black girlhood in comics, representations and things like that. So my second chapter of my dissertation is on Ironheart and this thing I was like trying to think through called Techno Magic Girlhood. And that's where I come. Yeah. We can get into it once we start talking about the show, because episode 4 is like really that's really what I
Yes.
was trying to through. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's how
That
I
is
come
good.
to it. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. We have to get off the gas and back up a bit. Can y'all tell that Keisha is letting her Blerd library freak flag fly? Okay, because she just was like, forget the normal introductions. I want to get into this about Dr. Stringfield, and we love it. But just for those who maybe didn't catch the last episode and you're tuning in for the first time, we would love to have each of you lovely ladies introduce yourselves, tell us 2 things that people should know about you, and then Dr. Stringfield, we have to get your comic book origin story. So let's get into it.
Okay.
Now, we've had you before, but Dr. Hines, if you would introduce yourself and give us your 2 things.
All right. I'm Dr. Christian Hines. I'm an assistant professor of literacy at Texas State University in San Marcos. Like the beautiful Black lady, Blerdy said before, I do a lot of education and comic studies, looking at mostly like diverse superheroes, mostly young adult superheroes, teen superheroes, things of that nature, and then also like Black childhood and Black adolescence in comics and graphic novels. 2 things that you should know about me. I like to cosplay. I have really been trying to get into my cosplay bag lately. So I'm a huge cosplayer. The second thing, I have an obsession like most nerds with Funko Pops, and I cannot stop buying and accumulating. Like the wall that you all cannot see is filled of Funko Pops. And I found today 2 very custom made Cowboy Carter Funko Pops that I ordered. And I was like, I will be adding these to my collection. So,
wait, is one of those the one on the mirror horse?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so gagged. Oh, I'm so gagged and obsessed.
Can we see?
Oh my God.
No,
yes,
I just ordered them online. They're not here.
Okay,
I
okay.
find the picture and put the picture up on my story, but no, it came up. The TikTok shop and everything always catch me with their little stuff, but I was like, they're custom made Funko Pops, and I was like, I'm gonna get them. One is in her little all white cowboy chaps, and the other one is her on the horse looking like the album cover, and I copped them both. I had to.
Period.
Not you blew a bag on the custom pops, but I respect it because I definitely want that one. Oh my gosh. Ooh, okay. I see you, Christian. I see you.
Right?
Okay, so we got one fun fact. Christian will blow a bag on custom Funko Pops. What's another one?
Oh, the cosplay. I like to cosplay.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, how about you, Dr. Stringfield?
So, just a little bit about me. PhD in American Studies, as I said, from William and Mary. And then I taught media studies for a little while, but I'm currently like doing my young adult author big one right now. So I have 2 books. The first one was Love Requires Chocolate, came out last year. And then the second one, Love in 280 Characters or Less, came out in April. And if you like nerdy stuff, thank you. If you like nerdy stuff, I do think that 280 is a really fun one because there's a whole subplot around comic books in that book. So that one's really fun. And then my 2 fun facts. One is that I am like an egregious Lois Lane apologist. It's the one thing I'm not really defensive about a lot of things, but I am really defensive about Lois Lane. And it's been part of my story the entire time I've liked comic books. We don't have to get into it now. And then my second fun fact has nothing to do with like nerd stuff, but I always just think this one is fun. So I'm from a town that like our main crop is peanuts. Like we're like the peanut capital of the world. And when I was in the 12th grade, I was the peanut festival queen.
Yes.
Oh, peanut princess, period.
Love to hear it.
Yes.
Oh, I'm supposed to do comic origin story too, right?
Yes, we have to get into it.
So I loved tuning in to Dr. Hines's episode because I also have a very similar comic origin story. I too was grabbing the Archies in the grocery store and like throwing them on the conveyor belt, being like, "Hello, can I get this?" And sometimes not even asking. But and I meant to grab this actually because I have it in the house. I'm at my parents' right now. I used to collect the Sunday comic strips, my favorite ones every week. I would just cut them out and then like paste them into a book. And I still have the book full of like comic strips from like, yeah, the early 2000s. And so I at a very early age was like collecting, reading comics, making my own. One thing too is I very much, if I enjoyed something, I would immediately try to make it myself, so that I have like stacks and stacks of just like comic books around this like little family that I had, this like superpowered family that I had made up with like dogs and everything like that. So that's how I got into it. And then I got seriously into reading comic books. So started to do the superhero thing, kind of out of spite. These boys that I went to high school with were like, you're not going to understand X, Y, and Z thing because you don't read the comic books. And I was like, one thing I can do is read. So let me go get some comic books. And there is the rest, as they say, is history.
Oh my goodness.
I love that.
So I know you write novels, but like, are you or have you like done comics? Like, will we see that family with the dogs?
I don't know that you'll ever see those, but y'all, I do have a script. I have like a graphic novel script, and it's if y'all ever watch Smallville, I got really obsessed with Chloe Sullivan because I was like, y'all did my girl so dirty. Like, I mean, like, I've never seen people do anybody so well. Bonnie Bennett, but that's neither here nor there. But
say that.
Yep.
But you know, I was so hurt about Chloe that I wrote something that was like my justice for Chloe Sullivan type situation. And we still have not done anything with that. But like, you know, if someone wants to call me so we can talk about the script, I'm happy to do it.
It needs a home. Whoever's
pay me,
listening.
boy. Period. Absolutely. I was gonna say, we just had some lovely ladies on our last episode who are into these graphic anthologies, and I'm like, you know, you might want, we might need to get you linked up with them for round 2 when it pops off. Shameless plug. If you haven't already, make sure you back. Yeah, make sure you back it. But yes, oh, that's so awesome. I love that you have like, you already were like putting it out into the universe, like, this is what I do and this is what I'm capable of, and I'm not seeing it in the form that I would like it, so I'm going to make it myself. And I love that you were able to, that your family kept it so that you can look back and see, like, I've had this level of ingenuity and resilience since I was little. So that's beautiful. We love to see it. Period. Yes. Okay, and I heard what you said about this Lois Lane apologist situation, and I feel like even if we don't do a deep dive, we need to get at least like the surface level tea about that, because I'm like, what's she talking about, girl? I'm not too much of a Superman girly, but I feel like, you know, you might be able to persuade me because you seem real passionate about it. That's all I'm trying to say.
So I don't proclaim to try to persuade anybody about any of my comics opinions, to be honest with you. Like, it's just one of those things where I'm like, everyone has their own thing. So I just have always said, this is just the thing that I like and I do. The Lois Lane situation comes from me thinking about, honestly, less about Superman, less about Clark, but I thought a lot about, not so much that this is the most powerful being, you know, but really Clark is one of the most earnest, just kind of like a moral center that is almost like, that's the most kind of absurdly fictional thing to me about Clark, honestly, is like how intense his moral compass is, right? And the thing that I thought about a lot was what kind of human woman can match that? Like, what kind of human woman matches that intensity? And when you get a Lois, right? Because I think the other piece about Lois is that they are very much mirrors. They are very much both about, you know, depending on who you're asking, you know, the truth, justice, in the American way or truth, justice, in a better tomorrow, just in very different ways. They're protective of those ideals in very different ways. So I've always been really interested in, you know, Lois as everything that Clark stands for with none of the ability to protect herself, right? So what is it like to stand for something and also be the most vulnerable person in the room, right? Like, and so when I think about Lois, and so I also have this, you know, campaign about this. Like, I don't love race bending, but I think that if you were going to race bend a comic book character, I think based on the way that we understand Lois Lane, the things that people don't like about her, the things that we do like about her, I think she would be an incredible Black woman. I think Lois Lane would be an amazing. I have this whole headcanon about her being like an army brat from South Carolina, like her people are Gullah Geechee. Like I have this whole thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my baseline Lois Lane thing.
Okay.
I know very little about Lois Lane in the comics, but in the Harley Quinn animated show, she's phenomenal. Like, it was the first time I actually looked at her as like, oh, like, you're more than just that damsel in distress, you know, that side person to Superman. But I love the idea of, like, if possible, making her Black. Like, it makes so much sense if I'm looking at it through the animated show.
And nobody throws shade like Lois. In the animated series, the original Superman, the animated series, I used to love when she had the little sarcastic one-liners and she was throwing the shade. Oh, yeah. I've been a Lois fan since the late 90s, early 2000s.
Period.
I think part of the issue is that Lois gets not, like, I think that she doesn't get much good play in the actual comic book. So if you're like a comic book purist, I could see you not liking Lois Lane. I could also see you not liking Lois Lane even if you just kind of like the movies, like the live action movies. But if you are watching TV shows, if you're watching animation, it's hard not to love her.
Agreed. Yeah, she's pretty cool.
That speaks volumes to how people consume, you know, Superman stories in general, though, too. Like, we had that whole conversation about, like, not necessarily being Batman fans, but liking the characters around him because they speak more to a variety of experience as opposed to just that singular one that feels real safe and comfy for the majority of that fandom, you know? So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm glad that you said that because I was like, oh, is she going to get me to read Superman? Nope, you're not going to do it. You're just not. And that's all right. I'm cool with that.
The only one we're reading is where Moonlight, what's her name?
Marilyn Moonlight.
Marilyn Moonlight comes in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we
she's also in a.
Oh, go ahead.
She's also in like a recent issue as well. I gotta go find it.
Yeah. Yeah. The only way that between her and Jamal Campbell, that's the only way Pink Riot has been rocking with Superman, respectfully, you know. It's just how it goes.
I mean, that's how it is.
But I love your perspective, and that means like I might consider watching the show just off of the strength of like being able to speak to the other side of that argument.
Now, Bree, I would say if you don't want to read the Superman comics, the DC young adult version they have of Lois, I found to be very cute, very fun. I would say read. See, so Ravynn already co-signed it. I would say read that. It's literally just a Lois story and not a Superman story. So I'll be like, get into that if you would read any type of Lois comic.
Okay.
And if you don't want to read a comic too. So I love Gwenda Bond did this Lois Lane trilogy, this young adult trilogy. Like I think the first one came out and when I was like, I think I was probably like a second or third year when I was in college. It was like probably almost 10 years ago now. But that trilogy, I have like that's my Roman Empire, honestly. Gwenda is so cool.
Okay.
I really like it because also
right?
What's the name again?
It's called, the first one is called Lois Lane Fallout.
Mm.
Yeah.
I love
And
how we're
there's
all taking notes here.
Fallout, Double Down,
Yes.
and Triple Down.
We love when our guests come through with the Rex, period.
They're so good.
Got it.
And there's no, I think the thing that I love about it is that there's plenty of Clark, but Clark is like a digital online pal. So like she met him like on message boards and stuff. Yeah, I also love her animation comics. Yeah.
Yes, Dwayne says I love her in animation and in comics. And Rachel says I love her with Superman.
That was such a good show. Yes, definitely.
I watched the first 3 episodes. Like, they are awesome. Her and what is the friend?
Yeah,
Jimmy.
Turn. I believe. Yeah, I think so.
I love the animation style. That was like my summer, like a summer and a half ago. I binged it. I was like, I was all in.
Period. Okay, we're gonna catch up on the chat a little bit. Everybody's saying what's up. What's up, y'all? Y'all know we love you. We just hella excited because we got some blurty baddies in the building. One time for the one time. What's up, y'all?
Emma, how you doing?
Okay, and they're saying to share the SDCC shenanigans. So y'all just, all I'm gonna say is prepare to be sick of us because it's about to go crazy. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Y'all already know we cut up like this, however many thousands of miles away from each other, and we get to meet for the first time in person. Yeah. Yeah. Y'all, I'm just gonna say it right now. I'm gonna be like full disclosure and let it rock for Beyonce's internet, but I'm probably gonna cry because we've been friends for years now.
Years.
I've never met in person, so it's gonna be great.
Never.
Yeah,
this is gonna be awesome.
Okay, hold on.
And we timed our planes to get in at the same time almost.
Yeah. So we're gonna meet in the airport. It's gonna be like a rom-com meet cute in the airport situation. I'm here for it. LT says, evening folks, so inspiring to learn from the show that Black comic studies is a thing and to get the 411 weekly on the show. Big facts. One time for Keisha being the Blerd librarian that she is and seeking out the top tier guests.
Yes. We're gonna show the diversity of the comic industry and everyone who participates in
and
it,
the Blerd experience for sure.
Yes, because Black women are awesome.
Period. From PhDs to vibes, you know, all along the spectrum, you're a Blerd just because you act in your joy. Period. All right. Inja, we love that you tuning in, sneaking and watching us while you at work.
Yeah.
And that you love the Sunday comic strips. Period. Yes. Rachel supports women's rights and our wrongs.
Yes. Great things can happen with spite.
Yes, all of the things. I can do all things through spite. Okay. And Jana says, will you be selling merch at SDCC? You know, the thing about that,
there are a lot of rules and we want to be invited back.
Yeah, we want we want to be invited back. And then also, fun fact, since we've been being transparent about our journey, you guys will peep that Keisha is wearing a pink Riot shirt. And this was our proper samples that we got back. And we both decided that they are not the quality that we would want you guys to be spending your hard-earned money on. So we are going back to the drawing board. But you guys will be the first ones to know once we find that supplier. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're probably going to have to just go crazy releasing all of the designs because you guys came up with some dope design ideas after we pitched the first few ones. So yeah, we'll find some fun way to reintroduce when the new shop is available. So that way you guys can have all of the merch. But we appreciate you trying to support us. If you still want to do that, we have like fundraiser things all over the place. We'll scream about the links later. But for now, we're going to talk about Ironheart.
Yes.
because I mean, so we had the pleasure of having Dr. Hines join us week before last to talk about the first 3 episodes. We were shook, shocked, and in awe, had a wonderful time kikiing with each other. They shamed me for about 20 minutes about my grits preferences, but it was a good time was had. Okay?
Deserved.
It's going to be all right. Y'all had John Jennings shaming me in the comments about my grits preferences. I hope you're proud of yourself.
Wrong.
I hope you're proud of yourselves. Anyhow,
and damn,
it's supposed to be a safe space, but clearly it's not. So, you know, everyone else taking care of yourselves. But this week, we gave you guys time so you could catch up on all of the other episodes. So, just to be clear, we said it before, but we're going to say it again. You will not be getting a free ride over here. Okay, thanks for pulling that up, Keisha, because I wasn't going to do it. Thanks. We will be chatting spoilers. So this is your point in the episode where if you haven't watched all the episodes, that you go find another episode of Pink Riot to watch until this is done. Because we're going to be talking spoilers. So yeah, we hope that you like got your snacks, got comfy, have like oriented yourself with our special guest, because we're going to just jump right into it now. I love that we kind of touched a little bit on how episode 4 aligns with what you do specifically in your current path. I will say on the vibes end of the Blerd spectrum, it was giving everything that I needed it to give. Like, I love how I knew that our girl Cree was not gonna just be thrown in there, but I wasn't sure in what capacity they were going to run it back. And the fact that she came through full on, I took time away from Comertage to raise my baby, and the baby is Velma. Like, what? Excuse me, what? Oh my God.
That was an awesome reveal.
That reveal was peak. Okay. I love her personality in the episode. And then the way that it really just switched energies that quick from her being like, oh yeah, I'm the dutiful Oompa Loompa in the candy shop to psych, I actually have like transported y'all to my little secret hideaway where all my magic stuffs and things are. I was like, excuse me? They could give me a whole series just about them and I would be so excited and happy. So I had to fangirl about that because episode 4 to me was like, if it was very much, if you don't like this series, you're a hater, period. Because it has everything at this point. What are you going to say? Okay, I'm done fangirling a little bit. What's everybody else's thoughts about issue 4 besides like, whew, okay. Thoughts about episode 4. Jeez, my light collapsed.
I was right there with the whole magic shop and first of all, the fact that they have a magic shop that is a bookstore and a candy store and a bake. I said, one thing Black people gonna do is have multiple jobs and multiple jobs to multiple people because I would have been in Stanton's just for the vibes. So I enjoyed the Stantons. I definitely enjoyed Zelma. I've been a fan of Strange Academy for a while. So seeing her and them picking, I think is it Regina or is it Rachel? I can't remember her name. The actress that plays her. I love her.
I forget her name. Reagan.
Reagan Aaliyah.
Yes, she's
amazing. An Exo Kitty.
Yeah, and that's where I saw her, and I was like, I love her. So I feel like she perfectly embodied that character, and that whole scene, and also that Bullwinkle hat that Cree is always gonna have, that also made an appearance yet again. I was there for the vibes. I was also there for Ronnie, and I felt like for a Black mama, Ronnie was really accepting of, Riri's playing with this magic. She got this technical, like I feel like she was very chill for a Black mom that got thrown into all of this, and the fact that Riri just flew off in that suit. Like, girl, I know you ain't just walk away from me. Not only that, you flew off in this Iron Man suit when I'm talking to you in the middle of the street. She would have got yoked up when she got back to the house. I don't care who super genius you are, because what you're not gonna do, you and your little suit, is fly off from me.
You and
What
your little
you not
suit.
gonna do? You and your little suit. Period.
I do not like that.
Yes.
Now, so where I stand, so thinking about Ronnie in particular, right? The thing I really, and maybe this is such a small detail to get hung up on, but when Ronnie, when Riri is about to leave in the suit, Ronnie says, "I can't help you if you're dead or in jail." But when they dropped that, when they dropped it in the trailer, it just said you're gonna either end up dead or in jail, and that bothered me so badly when the trailer came out, because I was like, what are y'all doing? And I couldn't explain why it was bothering me so badly. And then when they actually dropped the line in the show to have the framing be like, "I'm trying to help you," that, like, I can't tell y'all why that was really rocking me real bad, because I think this is, to me, something that's really important to what has been happening to Riri in her canon since the Bendis run, right? Like, we're trying to now reestablish her connection to her family, her community, her friends. And so I think when I heard that line, I was like, they're trying to take us out of that, right? But the way that it is in the show, the way that line is in the show, it like puts her like plugged her back into the community aspect of it.
Absolutely.
It's one of those things where it's like, okay, we know that the like team of Black women who worked to put this show together, okay, because let's be clear, Ryan Coogler's name is on it, but it's a slew of Black women creators who made this show what it is and put it together. The fact that we know that they would be thoughtful and intentional about every potential perception of the show, and then all it takes is somebody behind the money to like crop the most inopportune little snippets for a commercial, and then it looks like, oh, it's some stereotypical BS.
Right.
It's like literally that little bit of context that comes immediately after that statement that makes it like, oh, this makes sense, this feels true to the character, versus what you see in a commercial. So I agree with you and with what Rachel said, that trailers distort things and make me so angry, because sames. Yeah.
But I do love the fact that they were very intentional in making so much about her trying to get back into community. Like, it's not in episode 4. I think it happens in episode 5. The montage where she's building her new suit, like, in that, I wrote it down, it's like that stark opposition to the original Iron Man, like just removing, I guess, separating her from Tony Stark and him doing it in isolation, whereas she is doing it with her community, trying to build that back. I love the fact that they are doing that. Like, hopefully by season 2, she like actually like learns to trust everybody. But you can see like the beginning stages of that.
Yeah, I feel like it spoke to the broader conversation about like having to lean and trust your community if you do have access to it, but how often the way that everyone else treats us will have us feeling like we have to do things on our own and pushing through and being hard-headed. Like, I love how we talked about last episode about why doesn't she just reach out to Shuri? And then here they come, and that's one of the first things they do. They have that conversation. Natalie's like, why don't you call Shuri, see what's up? And she has this like sarcastic conversation. And it's like, anybody who watched those movies knows for a fact, like, Shuri would have been about the business if she actually did, feel comfortable enough to bring it to her. So it's just one of those things where, and then we also have to like remember her age and allow her to do that. Like, she's making these choices from, a place of grief, being young and having to like explore the world that has let her down pretty much at every turn, despite how exceptional she is. So I love that they allowed that story to play out in and of itself, because it wasn't just like a kumbaya. It's like where you can be brilliant and you can be strong and you can be vulnerable and you can be hurting all at the same time, and you still have to navigate that in one way or another. And yeah, I like what you said about the contrast to how Tony Stark went about it. I didn't think about it in those terms. The way that my brain was like, I'm processing this as so far away from anything that anybody could say about Iron Man and blah, 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 because I want to
But
be
I
able
think it
to
was
speak to that. Oh, it makes
I
sense.
think it
And
was
now that you
intentional.
said
Yeah, it
that,
was
I
very
definitely
intentional.
will
Yeah.
I will definitely do a rewatch and think about it in those terms. But I wanted this story to just live by itself for me the first times that I watched it, because I feel like so many people were trying to do, like, I know this wasn't your approach. You're looking at it like again, from a Blerd library
It was a
perspective of
good
like,
thing. No, it
can
was
I
a very
yeah,
good thing.
how can I
They
support my
wanted to make sure that people can see them
yeah,
as two different people, right?
yeah,
Like you can't compare these two. They are so very different in how they treat their community, how they approach the world, how they, navigate every, like, I think they were very intentional in making, those separations so that when people do have these conversations, it's like, okay, they're not the same people. Like they knew that conversation was going to happen and they wanted to nip that in the bud. And I very much appreciated that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
No, I wasn't saying anything about it was bad. One thing that I enjoy about being your co-host is that we tend to like look at things from different angles and be able to meet each other in the middle and learn more about each other's experience, which is why we brought you lovely ladies onto the show, because we love to have your perspective as well. But yeah, I how we were talking about like hate watching or hate supporting something, I was like very much in spite of like, I'm so sick of hearing all of this negative stuff before the show even came out. I'm going to like purpose it in my brain to just box all of that out. Like um, another like
Sure,
funny
yeah.
example, one of the reasons that me and Keisha started being friends was we read Octavia Butler's books as my like along with my book club. And they were laughing because in my brain, I just automatically make all of the characters black unless somebody explicitly tells me otherwise. And apparently I did that for characters who weren't anyway. And we're talking about it later and they're like, so if I make it up in my mind, like this is how I'm going to consume this, there's no stopping me whatsoever. So I love that we're getting this opposing perspective so that I can watch it again with that idea. What were your thoughts about episode 4, Dr. Hines?
Since you're talking about opposing perspectives, one of the things that I liked about episode 4 that I connected back to episode 2 was when Sue kidnapped Xavier, and then Xavier finds out that Natalie is the AI, and he calls her an abomination, and he talks about like it's not right for you to use her that way. And then I was thinking about his reaction to Natalie being to the AI being Natalie being Riri's brain, but also when Ronnie seen it, Ronnie immediately engulfed her, and Ronnie's question to Riri is, can you make one of Gary? So thinking about the two different ways that they, first of all, approach their grief, and when they think about their grief and their loved ones, how Ronnie she wanted a Gary, an AI Gary, so he could still be there. And Xavier's like, no, you're trapping her in time, and thinking about, the ethics of AI and being able to have this autonomous piece of equipment that is thinking for themselves. And I also seen Fantastic Frankie did a beautiful video on her TikTok talking about Natalie and calling her an abomination because she was like, she's thinking for herself. She, discards some of Riri's commands, and she's like, if she doesn't want to do it, she doesn't want to do it. She's making outfits, and we have to think about like, what does that look like for us today when we make, like, Riri's a super genius, so of course she has this AI that's even more intelligent that is now basically its own person and its own idea. So I like those type of opposing views and having those conversations about what are the ethics of AI, what is it to, even if it's unintentional, bringing back memories of like these dead people and dealing with your grief. Is that ethical to be able to do that? So I don't know what you all thought about that, or if you all had thoughts on that.
I love
I
to
definitely.
propose. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, you good? You sure?
Yeah, go ahead. Yep. Go ahead.
Oh man, when I saw Ryan Coogler like gave a statement, I think for an article in Inverse or something, and he was saying that, had Ironheart come out like when it was scheduled to come out, we wouldn't be having the same kind of robust conversations around technology and the ethics of it that we are currently having in this moment. I think what is also really astonishing to me as well in all this whole thing is this question of consent, right? Like the consent to use Natalie's image, not even just the fact that everyone's grieving and we're all processing the emotions and things like that. But if you really think about it, Riri doesn't have consent from Natalie's family to use her likeness in this way. Natalie can't consent for herself as she's gone, right? And so she doesn't have the consent from her family. And so, but then it becomes this question of, but the memories are mine, right? And it's something that like she can't quite articulate, right? It's that, maybe that is all true, and maybe she belonged more to you in a way that you all can say that I can't use her in this way, but my memories of her are still mine. And what I do with that, that's a different sort of situation. I love the kind of tech ethics questions that are going on. Even Joe kind of setting things up, Ezekiel Stain, in the beginning, where he's having those hypothetical conversations with Riri, like in the first part, about how this all works. I think, I'm somebody that one of the things I talked a lot about, like in my work, was digital humanities stuff, Black digital humanities. And these questions around, I think the way that Joe frames it of, the tech is as ethical as the person who created it. I think equally important is the person who's using it, right? Like all of this stuff is equally true. So I loved the kind of long standing tech question, but to be honest with you, I also really liked the framing of magic too, because the framing of magic becomes more like a science. It's very it's giving laboratory. It's giving, I'm experimenting with these materials. And so the line between magic and science is real blurry. And
they pose that question there too,
sure.
because Cree mentioned that, like, they say that, there's no bad tech, but there is bad magic. Right. So I love how they kind of mirrored that there.
Mm-hmm. Like, was it said earlier in the show? No, I'm probably thinking of another movie, but there was this movie specifically with Nicolas Cage. I think it was like Sorcerer's Apprentice or something. And he has said something to the effect that magic is just science we don't understand. So like, I've always seen that the line between the two has always been very vague. Like even when you think of like literature and how science fiction was originally a cult, like it was considered a cult, and it was very, it gave more magical vibes than actual science that we know of today. So yeah, very, very interesting. Going back to the conversation of ethics in AI, what I find interesting, I've always found it interesting the way people interact with like messages that are in stories and what's actually like what the actual message is. So like what people actually take away from it. And my concern is that not enough people are going to take away just like the concern people should have for AI, right? They're going to look at Natalie because she is amazing, right? And not make the connections to how harmful it can be, like in our actual reality. Because while on screen I can go, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Keep going.
Oh, I was like, on screen I can say, I love this is amazing. But if I were to ever encounter an AI like Natalie, I would be terrified in real life.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely terrified. I don't even have like Alexa or any of those things on in my house
Same.
because I've read too much science fiction.
Yeah.
So, like,
Mhm.
hopefully, right? Like, it's scary. So, like, I'm
Mhm.
hoping that more people, as we start having these conversations about AI, more people are like having to sit with it and go, okay, yeah, this is cool in theory, but what harm is it currently doing in the hands that, is controlling it right now? So, yeah, all I wanted to say.
I- No, I love that. And I think you're absolutely right. And one of the things that I thought about a lot was how this was one instance where I really wished we had more episodes, not just because I want more episodes, but for the sheer fact that Xavier changed his mind about Natalie the next episode. So it was like the end of
Yeah.
the episode where we have this fallout. They do kind of like the negotiation, or the kind of like um the he does that thought reconciliatory work off screen and just shows up the next day to work. Do you know what I'm saying? And so to
Yeah.
me, not having enough space for the rupture to have really sat with her, right? Like to really see what that rupture would do, because they had to move it on for the narrative. Like I understand that's what had to happen, but really, because
Yeah.
I really felt that they nailed that conversation that Riri had with Xavier, every piece of it, even the part where he asks her how she's doing and she says, I'm tired. I mean, like that whole conversation is fantastic. And we kind of moved too quickly from that really big emotional moment into trying to resolve the conflict. And I think in doing that, we lose some of what could have been a really strong moral message about how we're using the technology. But because we had to kind of move on for the plot, I don't think it'll marinate the way that I want it to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they didn't put enough emphasis or time in the consequences of that. Like we've seen that everything that Natalie has done against what Riri has asked has been minor, with an exception of her, going to get him and bringing him there. And then even after that, Riri feels bad about having to make that decision that he's recommending that she just erase it. But we also don't get any of Riri's reaction to Natalie, like going directly against what she asked her to do. She's explicitly told her, like, he won't understand. She knew how he was going to react. Natalie, ate it the first time she said it. And then at the first sign there was an opportunity for her to go against it, she did. Because if we're being real, like, Natalie helped Riri calm down before. She didn't have to go get him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that conversation about Natalie really just wanting to see him more so than trying to help Riri, and then it causing this whole thing. It's like, it's still minor in the grand scheme of things, but it was big enough where it's like it's clear, like, if she's this smart and she's already doing all of these things of her own and she's going against direct instructions, what's the next evolution after that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's terrifying to think of in real life.
Yeah.
It's
Jana
yeah.
says, agreed.
But
Xavier's reaction was most like what I think mine would be, and I was rocked when I saw him come back and be fine with it. Yeah.
But you see, he didn't go over there near her though. He was like, "Look, I'll help y'all build this. Let her stay on her side of the room. I'll stay on mine. You can have her, but I'm not messing with it. I'm not."
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna tolerate for the montage because we gotta get you going. But that's, I still don't agree. That's fair.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
My only gripe about the entire show I absolutely adore the montage. I love the community aspect of it, pulling everybody, even the little boy with the wagon and all of that. Adorable. All the feels, warm and fuzzies. However, ain't no way our girl, even being as brilliant as she is, would have made that whole suit from that old car. That was my only thing. I wish there would have been like some other element they could have thrown in there. Like maybe they took some more of what's his name, Little Stain's stuff from his place or something, because it just doesn't make sense that all she needed was a car to build the suit, and she had been like struggling to find everything to build the suit before that. Does that make sense? I was like, and it was very sleek. I was like, somebody came through with the airbrush machine and was like, yeah, it's got to be jazzy. It's got to be like, I was like, okay.
But it had to be for the plot. It was for the plot
for sure. But I was like, we needed just a little bit more in there to make that final form of the suit being believable. But I was like, okay, this is where we get a little Disney magic, and it's okay.
It was for the plot and for the culture. Because did y'all check that the feet look like retro J's? I was like, this is a blackity black suit. I'm not mad at it.
Period.
All right, then yeah.
It was because magic. Period. There was a lot of mention of magic has cost. I would say the same about science and technology. Agree.
Yeah. Big time.
Okay, somebody said they
was that your only
Go ahead.
Was that your only gripe? Like the car? I have a random gripe that like I probably will have to explain myself, and I'm actually now that I'm mentioning it, I don't know if I like wanna okay, I'm gonna do it. Y'all, as much as I love the little cute, stuff with Xavier, like as much as I like it, I don't know that I wanted the romantic subplot.
I have that here in my notes. It was unnecessary and forced.
Okay, all right. So, okay, now let me defend myself a little bit, because like on the one hand, yes, I want Black girls to be loved, and I want them to have all of the good things. I want them to have whatever they want, whoever checking for them that they want, I want them to have it, right? Like that's what I want, okay? And I also I subscribe to like I want that, and also I kind of am like, also I really want queer Riri. Like I've always kind of had like a headcanon for queer Riri. So like there's also some of that where I'm like I don't know if I like he's great. Like I like it. I like it. But I don't know that I needed it. And I think like I would have maybe, because I also think there's just like, I don't know, like there's a part of me that's like, I want the love for her because I don't think it's a distraction. But I also think that Riri is one of those characters where it's very clear that her love interests are the least interesting thing about her. So, okay, I didn't say it was gross. I didn't say it was gross.
I didn't say gross. Right. It felt like, I felt like there should have been a love there, right? Like, but it felt like it could have been more platonic, right? Like they could have been,
right?
Yeah, like platonic soulmates. Like I don't know if soulmates, but like it could have been a strong platonic love there, between the two of them, because that's how it felt initially. Or at least two cousins, like two favorite cousins, and then there was just like this extra dash of romance that made me feel like you shouldn't be sleeping with your cousin. And so,
I think they're still setting us up for the outcome that you want, Dr. Stringfield, because every time there was anything like super romantic brought about, like one of the times it came from Natalie, and that could very much just be, Riri felt like she wanted Riri always felt like Natalie wanted them to be together. Clearly he
Right.
has a like big love for her and respect for her, but it wasn't like explicitly romantic. Like they went to the concert and she kind of rejected it anytime people brought it up, but she clearly does care for him. And the way she carried herself, to me, it very much could be giving us queer Riri, and that's why he only got so much screenplay. And then it had to be, they had to have their big emotional moment around the Natalie issue. And outside of that, you know, he'll kind of know his role from there. So I wouldn't count that out just yet, because there wasn't, like, I feel like in most of these things, they give us them being overly nervous or giddy or acting outside of themselves for that person. And she wasn't about none of that. And that could just be a testament to
You
her
didn't see that?
personality. But there was little things, but to me, it didn't just overtly give, oh, I'm checking for him in this way. I just hold him in high regard and they're grieving together over the same person in that way. I don't know. I didn't see it that strongly.
I thought it was like, I thought it was giving like, I don't really know how to say that I'm checking for him, but like I'm looking. I respectfully, I'm like, that's what it was giving to me. I was like, it was kind of like, I'm looking. I don't want you to know I'm looking. And if I did, I really wouldn't know how to tell you. But it was giving that to me. But I think that's a good reading, Brie, of it. Of it though. And I also just think, and this is why I didn't want to say it, because you saw how quickly everybody was like, I didn't like blah blah blah. It was great. No, because I don't want to give y'all permission to be hating on my girl having a love story. That's not what I'm. That's not what.
Oh no, she deserves one.
She deserves one.
Absolutely,
like, she absolutely deserves one. If that's what Riri Williams wants, that's what she should get.
Yeah.
And so like, I don't know how to say like what I like my thoughts about the like desire of it all without giving people permission to hate on like what she did get, because as far as we're concerned in the text and in the narrative, that's what she wanted. And maybe he didn't, you know, they didn't have like the full on like, you know, kiss or like relationship or whatever, but she wanted him there and he was there in the end. So, you know, I think that matters a lot.
Well, I'm here for a queer Riri. I would love that. Honestly, that would be great. And I think that kind of falls in line. I think it could fall in line to who she is as a person.
Well said. Rachel said they want a love story, but a full love story. And that I can get behind. Like right now, we got too much stuff going on. You know, the focus right now was like, but
she
about
needs to work on her.
Right. Yeah.
She needs to work on her.
Absolutely.
We want healed love. That was my main thing too. Maybe that's why I rejected the idea of them, because to me it's like that coming from like trauma bonding.
Right.
Like, no. No, don't do that. We want examples of like free and happy, coming from a good place with healed people. You know what I mean? Like, don't let this Black relationship have to be from pain and struggle and everything else. Like, just chill. You know?
And plus, the real love story to me is Riri and Natalie. Like, that's, I mean, not in a like romantic, but like the friendship, the love that they have for each other. That was all. And I think that's also probably why I felt like Xavier was a little too much, because like I really think that the strength of their friendship and the love that was their friendship was enough to drive the story. Like I did not need any other engine other than the relationship that those two girls had for each other.
Facts.
Period. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm here for that. Okay, we're moving forward. I was like, was I the only one who was just screaming at the screen? Like, why is nobody talking about to the rest of the crew that a former crew member got murdered intentionally? I was just waiting for that little bit to pop off. I was like screaming at the screen. I don't know if you guys do that. I'm one of those people. I'm like, what are we doing? Why does nobody asking questions? Like, that was me about that. But yeah, I was glad when it finally came out. In terms of Baby Stain, like crossing over and getting like full on persuaded from the jail cell. When I tell y'all, I hollered at that scene when he was like, yeah, at lights out. And then everything just was lining up for him to walk out the jail. That scene was so fun to me, but it was also hilarious because I was like, okay, yeah, I mean, you're gonna go, but you're also like, what in the what is going on here? And then the fact that he just so I forget what that actor's name is, but I feel like he is one of those actors who's like himself in every role that he's in, but it works so well for this one because his first thought when the hood pops up in his cell is, okay, great, now I'm hallucinating. That's another thing to add to the list. I'm like, that's hilarious. That was so great. But yeah, I felt like there was an opportunity for Riri to come to him sooner than what she did. But the fact that it was like all after the fact is like, my girl, that should have been one of the first things you did once y'all left that compound, because he's in danger now because you left that. You know what I mean?
Riri is pure chaos the entire show.
Yes.
I think I yelled at her more than anybody else because she frustrated me. I put it on Threads the other day because I was like, there's no way this child went after she got him locked up. She finds out, goes to she goes to his lair, uses his stuff that he explicitly told her not to, even though she got him locked up because she used it incorrectly the first time. Still goes back, uses his stuff, says, I'm hungry, I could eat. And then DoorDashes. And then looks at homie sideways. Like she's not crazy for being in the middle of nowhere.
But wait, Keisha, even before that, the bold audacity to visit this man in jail and make jokes talking about they got your favorite color khaki.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
She deserved to get her ass beat.
Yeah, he was too calm. He was way too calm in that scene.
She has nothing but audacity.
Yeah.
I was like, she bold as hell. I was like, Riri. It was in that moment. I was like, if somebody would have like beat her ass, I wouldn't have been mad for like a few minutes because the audacity to even do that, and then was like, I'm gonna try to figure it out. Girl, how? I'm already locked up. What do you mean?
Yeah. And
wild,
even outside of that, I was literally like, we are so unserious. Because, girl, why are you cracking khaki jokes? We are so unserious. And then on top of that, it's like, at any point, you know, she kind of was putting herself in danger in that situation because she didn't know how he was going to react. Like, she only knows him, but so much. And she only knows... She has no idea what he's told the police or anything like that. You know what I mean? So that was real bold and crazy for her to just pop up at the jail.
She lives in audacity and delusion. That is one child that just doesn't. She's like, shit's gonna work out. It's fine. Whatever. Like you'll have to figure it out.
I would have pulled on her immediately.
Lock
right?
Her up.
I feel
immediate.
Yeah, I feel like he was definitely giving I'll sing like a canary vibe. So the fact that she was able to just waltz in, nobody was looking for her, I was like, oh, he wants revenge. This is like peak villain origin story because he was like, I'm not saying shit, I'm just gonna get her when I get out.
But even when he did that, I was like, Joe's still the bigger man because he still could have killed her. And he was like, you can leave, because I would have yoked her up then and be like, what about them damn khakis right now? When she was in that stuff. I bet you ain't got no khaki jokes right now.
While you were beating her ass, right? Because he definitely handed her ass to her in that fight. I was like, ooh, okay. Yeah. I was wondering how we were going to get on the other side of that. So like using him, that was one place where Shea Coulee got to shine, because they were like, okay, I know something about this code. And he low-key tried to flex on her like, oh, well, just do what I put down. And she was like, bet I'm gonna do all of that. And I'm gonna give the controls of it to the hood. So you're gonna be out here looking crazy. But keep talking your shit. Go ahead. Yeah.
They are a loyal ass crew.
Like
I
all
love
the way
them.
down. That was a good scene too. The fight from all of the team members versus Riri in the diner. Hilarious. Okay. And her conversation with Zelma, okay, that was very good because I was like, okay, I know that's not going to be the only bit that we see of her, but for her to completely go against her mom and be like, okay, girl, I know she told me not to say nothing, but I have to give you the tea because you's in danger. like actually, I was like, okay, we're seeing some sisterhood because I will say that scene where Cree seen what was going on and was like, oh no, y'all got to go. And her mom was like, mother to mother, you got to tell me if something's going on. That little like barely bit of information that she gave them, I was like, now you know you wrong for that. Because I'm gonna need them to have a little more context because they are really in some grits at this point. Like, why would you do that? But yeah, I love that Zelma made up for it by coming back and talking to Riri. And that scene made for some hilarious situation of her being like, you good, girl? Because if you are, I'm gonna go ahead and step out. It looked like they came with the shenanigans. But yeah, that was another good scene. And I love how they did the fight scenes really well, and they allowed Riri to actually fight, but to also like steer clear of the fight by making smart choices, like with the watch and trapping them and stuff like that. And I was glad that the person who I was glad that she stood up for what's her name? The other black girl in the crew.
Clown? You talking about Clown?
Yeah, that I'm glad that Clown, she had that moment with Clown after the hood slammed her into the table, because that made her, kind of lean towards trusting Riri a little more. And then she actually listened when it was like, what happened to old boy? Like you need to be asking more questions. That, like I said, I have been screaming at the screens. I was like, yes, thank you. Somebody ask those questions. Yeah.
Honestly, that entire sequence, that fight scene, to pull it out the story a little bit, I couldn't help but wonder how much White Castle paid to be in nearly every single shot of the whole thing. I know it's a weird thing to like fixate on, but I was like, damn, they hit every angle. We in the back, we get every single shot was White Castle.
I knew it was coming because they gave them burgers, White Castle burgers, on the red carpet, and they were in the little Ironheart containers. So when it finally paid off in the series, I was like, oh, yeah, somebody dropped a bag for that for sure.
Big time.
Yeah, branding on 10.
And they missed out. I didn't really eat them, but I got on Google and was like, is there a White Castle near me? Because now I kind of want a White Castle burger.
It's already paying off for them.
See, it worked. It worked. They don't have to make any commercials now. They know everybody in their mama is watching Ironheart. Mm-hmm. And everybody has questioned whether or not they want to like shit fire out of their ass.
Just for a night.
To eat White Castle. Just for a night.
Is it that bad? I've never had it. They don't have that here on the West Coast.
I had it in Ohio. It's
oh no.
New York. I loved White Castle growing up. Loved it. And to this day, I'll still go over there for the catfish nuggets. But a burger at my big age and my digestive system cannot handle it anymore.
Hold on. You lost me at fast food catfish nuggets. What? That's crazy town. I don't care.
I know.
That's absolutely
But it's
absurd.
Delicious.
Oh my God.
I know, but it's delicious. And I don't know why they put it on their menu, but it's there. Yeah.
All I can think
I cannot be the only.
Like, I'm trying to think, where else do they have fast food fried fish besides like Long John Silver's, or if you get like a fillet of fish? You asking to be on the toilet with that.
Popeyes has shrimp.
I feel like shrimp don't count. Shrimp ain't the same.
Why
but
not?
Even with that, I'm not eating shrimp from Popeyes. Y'all wildin'.
I mean, allegedly, a few years back when Taco Bell did wings, people were saying they were like owl knees and squirrel elbows. So there are places that try.
Squirrel elbows is crazy. Oh my gosh. I cannot.
But we've never seen those wings again at Taco Bell. It came and it went. We've never seen them again.
Because they got shamed out of it. And I feel like we should do that more as a society.
Yeah, if you want to cancel something, do that. For sure. Oh my gosh. She says that as she's the one defending the fried catfish at the burger place. Crazy.
Look, we all have that. Hear me out. And I do that.
No, I'm not hearing nothing out. The way y'all drugged me about my grits 2 weeks ago, I'm not hearing nothing out. I hope you get the BGs. Eating White Castle fried fish. Crazy.
It's not a regular thing. Nobody said to do that regularly. That's no.
Just blow your stomach out occasionally. That's all. It's fine.
Occasionally.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I love that the majority of that episode was like fight scenes. I was screaming because I was like, not he snatched her up out the suit. And then I was like, okay, and we just gonna all lie to the hood. I'm like, the hood keep asking because he know better. He like a mama asking, did you clean your room? You sure you cleaned your room? So it's clean. You killed Riri. You sure you did that? Y'all, the rest of y'all, did y'all see her do it? So when Clown came through with the cover story, I was like, I'm gonna need y'all to lie better because what's going on here?
Yeah.
Clown had to come through with the cover story, but I was like, okay, it's believable. So yeah, we kept it moving, and then we get to see the core. I love how I was interested to have this conversation about how everything wrapped up in terms of the villain, the hood and Mephisto. One time for Dr. Hines, she called it with the Mephisto when we talked about it last time. But I was like, wow, okay, we got to see the reasoning behind why the hood was so pressed to come out on top and be on the other side of it. And it's like, ooh, emotional damage. I was here for it. Like, okay, this makes sense why he was so like single-minded about his approach and why he knew how to rally people based on how his cousin was, but he didn't know how to back it up with like a real relationship because his family had been torn apart. He didn't see that piece of it. So it was just like, oh, okay, I like how they pulled all of that together. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts about the hood as a villain for the series versus just kind of being a catalyst to get us to Mephisto, because I feel like it was like a transitionary bad. It didn't feel like a big bad. What are your thoughts about that? Keisha's biting her tongue because she said it from the beginning. She said it from the beginning. Before the show even came out, she felt the way.
She felt the way about what the hood?
Okay, so because we have read every iteration of Ironheart, and Keisha, the most recent one from John Jennings, gave us Riri's perfect villain.
Oh, Kim. Yeah, Kim was, I love
the best.
Yes.
Kim was an amazing villain.
When we seen that the hood was going to be the villain for the show, Keisha was like, oh. But it was like, let them cook. Yeah. Go ahead, Keisha. Tell them your side of it.
They cooked and gave us sugar grits.
Not the cream of wheat.
Y'all just really aren't gonna stop and let me live.
Ever.
I'm sorry. It was right there. Okay, but not in all.
And y'all in the comments too. What is this? For real?
I told you, shame, communal shame does wonders. But no,
y'all don't love me like you say you do.
Yes, we do. But now, I went into this with a major bias towards Anthony Ramos, like as a person. I just I can't quite explain him right now. But I was like, all right, let me move past this. And initially, I'm like, all right, he's a decent villain. But it was when I think by episode 4, I was sitting watching it with my husband. And I was like, this is a family issue that's pushing him, especially like after we get that whole backstory with him and his cousin in that house, and the fact that he knew how, he knew the code to get in that house. I was like, this is a family issue. I'm pretty sure it's something that's pushing him, has something to do with like his dad or something. And I was right. And I felt so good. I was like, oh, okay, you have daddy issues, which means that this is going to get resolved very quickly. And so as a villain onto himself, no, not the greatest. I feel like Riri could have gotten better, but as a catalyst to Mephisto, I think he did the job, right? He did the job because at the end of the day, that catalyst to Mephisto makes Riri integral to whatever happens in the MCU, which is what I'm here for. Like at the end of the day, give her a permanent position on the squad. She's in a bunch more movies. So I don't care how we got there. We got there.
Low key, my theory is that the reason why it took so long for them to release this is because initially the big bad was supposed to be Kang the Conqueror, and that this was going to be linked to that some type of way, and they had to work it in to change it so that way it would still work. Because I feel like her show was always going to be a pathway to something else going on with the big bad, and they had to restructure everything once they decided to cut, because Kang was supposed to be in like 4 movies and they had to just shut all of that down and end Loki in the most annoying way. But I feel like that's what it was, and so it makes sense that the Hood was always going to be, somebody's pathway to the next big bad, which makes sense. And it also makes sense that the pathway to Mephisto would be somebody with daddy issues, because it was easy for him to hook his claws into him. So I'm just wondering, like, what other characters in the MCU, because he made some comments that made it seem like he's already got his, design set on some other people. Ooh, okay. If you have theories, I want to hear them from all of you guys, because I was like, who is he talking about? Ooh, oh, easily.
So in Champions,
the queen of I got issues and I need them fixed for my family. 100%. Yes, say that.
So is it Champion? Yes, Champions, right? Whereas Miles Morales, Miss Marvel, all of them, Mephisto he's known for making these kinds of deals and doing these things. And he first pissed me off in the comics, because in one of the comics, Miss Marvel dies, and Miles Morales makes a deal with Mephisto to bring her back. And then he spends like an entire story arc just like hiding all of this from his entire team. And then they have to like rally afterwards to fix that. So I am hoping that we have the Champions in some way come back. Like, I would love that so much. I've been waiting to see like this younger version of superheroes like move to the forefront, because I'm low-key kind of sick and tired of seeing the other ones. So like I want to see this younger new generation of superheroes, like show who they are and really flex their wings and stuff. So like I would love to see that in some way. I don't know if we'll get it, but I would love to see that.
I thought that they were actually doing that, because they have a way of taking what was in the comics and giving it to someone else. So I was like, what they did with Miles, since Miles is not in the MCU, is what they're going to do with Riri. And then with Miss Marvel assembling what they were going to be the Young Avengers, is that they would all go on this mission to help her get her soul back or to rectify that. And then also one of the things that I thought about, and I've seen it online too, is like this issue with Natalie now coming back. And if we want to connect it to another show, like what does this mean for Death in Agatha with Rio? Because she made such a funk about Wiccan existing. So now you have another soul that has come back that isn't supposed to be here. So now does she have an issue with Mephisto, but will she ever have an issue with Rio also now trying to come back and claim Natalie? And is that something that they would cross over as well, so they won't basically have these throwaway characters and they can still have like these through lines? So I was like, that's it. It could be a stretch, but I was like, I would be interested to see if that's something that they do, especially if they are quote unquote still trying to develop like Wiccan stories and stuff. And that could be a way that Wiccan gets to meet Riri. And so they team up because he's had interactions with Rio and he understands that. So that's like some of the things that I was thinking about, like the conspiracy theories and the bigger ideas of what could happen, whether not on the big screen, but just to draw out even like the Disney Plus series.
Yes. Oh, that would be awesome.
Okay, let her cook. Go ahead, Dr. Hines.
I
What
love
are
a
your
good
thoughts?
conspiracy theory.
Yes, give
Right?
it to me, all of them. What about you, Dr. Stringfield? What do you think is up next based off of the way it ended?
I don't know. And I've never been very good at like guessing and predicting and theorizing and things like that. So I'm gonna leave that to y'all. But everything, like I like the theories. Like I was really into your King the Conqueror theory. I frankly really love that theory. So I'm now paying attention. Like I'm like, oh, this sounds good, but this is nothing I would ever like. I can't do that. My brain don't work like that.
That's fair. That's totally fair. Finally, somebody supports something that I say around here.
We support it all except your cream of weed. We love you, Bree. We're here for it.
I can't. More theories in the chat.
So there's a comment about like getting Champions or Young Avengers. I thought they were setting up for Young Avengers. Like I don't know if we're gonna get Champions. I would prefer Champions, but I felt like we were getting set up for Young Avengers.
The rumor is, and it wasn't confirmed, is that it was gonna be Young Avengers, but they're now changing the name to Champions, which it would still be the Young Avengers with the lineup. And that's how I felt, Ravynn. I'm like, if we're getting the Champions, I want the Champions. Don't give me Young Avengers with a different name on it. Like, no.
Right.
Yeah.
And are they gonna?
I prefer Champions.
I don't, yeah, that's my team. But if are they gonna try Strange Academy? Something with Strange Academy since
that would go crazy if we're being honest.
Yeah,
that would go crazy.
And then not to jump too ahead to the end credit scene, but I mean that's where my mind did go. I was like, this could be taking us somewhere.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was a little bothered by that, or maybe I was just bothered that the fact that she didn't like finish him off. I was like, oh, you're back. Once again, I think this is mostly my bias.
She left him on the ground sizzling like bacon and the crackhead over that cake. Like, I mean, what else did she do? Like, like you don't know what it feels like. My God, you're strung out. It's like, it's okay. But I mean, I will say
he still didn't learn the lesson.
He didn't. But
neither of them did. That's why the battle couldn't be over, because neither of them learned a damn thing. Because Riri, what was you doing? Now you know good and well. Not Borat came through the pizza spot and convinced you to give up your soul. Make it make sense.
It was interesting hearing him in his natural accent. I was like, oh, you're English.
But I think that for me, I think that goes back to number one, thinking about her age as a 19-year-old, and also thinking about Riri and people like her and Tony Stark who are socialized as geniuses to think, even if I make this bargain, I'm smart enough to figure a way out. So I'm fine with it because I'll fix it on the back end. And it's like, girl, they've told you so many times magic comes at a cost. You can't control everything. You are smart, but you don't know everything. And I'm just like, I'm watching her and I was like, so we gonna make this dumbass choice because we think we're smarter than the devil himself. Okay.
Yep.
What's that old
Sure.
mama saying where it's like you got to get knocked down before you could get you some sense? Because every time that somebody told her that magic comes with a cost, she didn't have to see the consequences of the cost. She just kept pushing forward. Like even when they were doing the suit and it was like a whole big thing, it's like, now look at you because Natalie gone. Because you didn't want to listen to nobody because you think you know everything. So now
And
she's gonna
still
keep
didn't learn
doing
that
it.
lesson.
Still hasn't. She didn't learn nothing, and the hood didn't learn nothing. But this is peak comics. Like that's one thing that I love about the ending not feeling super resolved or like anybody just got rid of somebody else, because that's like peak comics. You know, like it used to be where you have like your mega arch nemesis or some villain, and it takes some time before you're able to like completely vanquish them or get rid of them. And that I feel like we haven't really had that like that. And so it makes sense. Like I feel like like Thanos, maybe kind of, it took a while, but even with that, it was like mostly resolved. So in this scenario, it's like that's a normal thing in comic book stories where it's like, oh, you know, we didn't get him this time, but we lived to fight another day type of vibes. Like, what's wrong with that sometimes? I'm not mad at that aspect of it.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that one green. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Only one. I'm hoping that season 2 gets greenlit because they did leave a lot open, and I know it was done intentionally. They were like, "We want you guys wanting this," so I'm hoping that season 2 gets greenlit, and I'm hoping that she grows. I really like. Oh, I don't think I could do another season of being this frustrated with her as a character. I really need her like by halfway of season 2 going, okay, let me think through my actions first before I do something. I would love for her to like just like just look at all the consequences of something and take that into consideration when she makes a step. But
I just hope she doesn't have to lose any more family members to learn that lesson.
That too. Because I don't think she'll learn a lesson if she does.
Yeah, it's tough. That's tough. The way her personality is, I feel like, you know, she's going to have to take that L before she takes it seriously. I just, like I said, I hope it's not her family members. And I hope it's not Shuri. That's all I'm going to say on that. Because I feel like at this point, you got a lot going on. It's like she learned her lesson about accepting help from her immediate family. So maybe she will, you know, swallow her pride and be like, my girl, let me catch you up because we need an intervention at this point. Because what? Yeah, that would be peak. That would be very peak. But yeah, I love the idea of it going the Strange Academy route. And someone in the chat said Benedict Cumberbatch would cost too much money, but that is the only
Strange Academy
that is
would
the
go
only white dude in
crazy.
the MCU that I could really just cut for. I love me some Doctor Strange, so I'm here for that. I'm here for that.
And then we can also get Brother Voodoo.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, I'm listening.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, if we're gonna go full mystic, I feel like let us find out that Kree's, who is Zelma's dad in the comics?
Oh, I'm in. I'm sold. Write it now. Let's go.
So like I haven't read much Strange Academy. I know Keisha is like a huge fan of Strange Academy, which is why I started picking some of it up. But after the reveal of Zelma, this is the only reason why I'm glad that I still have my Marvel Unlimited, because it lets you search by character. And so I was trying to see where she pops up, because I'm like, who her daddy is. You know, like I'm trying to see who that is, because that would be fire. Okay, see, it's not just me. Roomful of Blerds has been asking who is her daddy.
But Keisha, are you reading Doom Academy now?
Yes.
Same. I just started.
You see how her whole
Those are my
personality
favorite.
changed? She is
I
so crushing on Doom right now.
yes, that too, but like Strange Academy, those I have a thing for like stories with academia in them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one like I'm loving like the Avengers Academy and stuff because and when they tried to do the Teen Titans Academy, right?
Bama
But
said it
like
could be Brother Voodoo as I'm sorry. We
and
could have
I'm
Voodoo
here
as
for that.
headmaster in place of Strange. Because that's what's happening in this
Yeah.
next thing. Now that
He's
I can
essentially like the second in charge over at Strange Academy. But like those kids are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They are amazing. Like the community they create at that school is awesome. The storytelling was so good. And seeing how they end up like having to go against each other in this prophecy, like it's such a great story. And then seeing them with like I thought it was a great choice to bring them back for Doom, the Doom Academy, because now they're in a different place and they don't have everybody because of what went down, and now they're just like, you know, they're picking up new friends and stuff. I like it.
Look, Keisha, we're gonna have to chat offline about that because I've been trying to find somebody who was into Strange Academy. Nobody that I know was reading it. They weren't into it. When I was talking about picking up Doom Academy, they was like, "Yeah, okay, girl." I was like,
"No,
I can't be the only one that's excited."
Anytime I see Keisha fangirl about something, I know I need to pick it up. I literally picked up I have the hardcover compendium waiting for me at my LCS just off the strength of Keisha fangirling over the story a couple weeks ago.
Because those kids are awesome. And it's everybody's like, it's Dormammu's son and he's trying to like fit in and shit. And it's so they're a great bunch of kids, and I really do want people to give it a chance. I think that was the first time I was introduced to Brother Voodoo, and I was like, oh yeah, this is somebody I could get with. Yeah, yeah, very much so. So yeah, y'all need to read it.
Now, Keisha, I'm gonna throw this out because you know y'all like to be talking about the Lulu stuff. So you know, being in education, I like to write about these comics and these kids in school and how this relates to real life. But, you know, if you ever want to, you know, write and collaborate or, you know, talk, get at me because I'm here.
Yes, please.
Okay.
We're going to just add you to the growing list of people telling Keisha she needs to write.
We've been to Keisha gonna write. Keisha gonna go to grad school. We gonna be here with hats on celebrating when she tell us she's enrolled. She done. I'm here for the whole Keisha saga. I'm here for it. I'm subscribed. Like and subscribe. I'm here for it.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Dr. Hines says she's doing it for the plot. Period.
Right.
That's what every day, all the time. That's
I would love to.
We're here for it.
Yes.
Oh, somebody said Keisha Academy. I'm here. I will read that book.
Oh Lord.
Hashtag Keisha Academy. Get into it.
No, I'm gonna say myself writing nonfiction writing for now because I don't. Nobody wants to see what's in my mind right now. That's for concerning.
Now. Blasphemous lies. Everybody in the chat begs to differ. But yeah, listen. So since we're on this kick, when we talked a little bit about, you know, fan casting Storm last time. This time, since we're talking about Brother Voodoo, all we know is that if nothing else, he has to be a full-on certified zaddy. So who we casting for him?
Well, he doesn't have to be a zaddy because his gray hair came from something different, not from age. So
no, I said a zaddy with a Z.
Oh, right. I apologize.
I'm just gonna say it. I think it should be Idris Elba. Oh no, he can't because he was what's his face?
In Thor.
Yeah.
He was
they already got everybody in.
He was the equivalent. Wait. Oh, that was another thing I wanted to ask. That yes, do it, lady. Period.
See?
Do it
We,
later.
we get it
Let me
now.
say this. While you guys are thinking about your casting, I have to publicly apologize to Keisha for being completely lost and confused about the Do It Lady thing, because she literally sent me one video and now my entire algorithm is shot to shit because I've been watching all of this man's videos and they are freaking hilarious. The Do It Lady is like this corny dude and it's like replacing Get It Girl. And I'm just like, the fact that I just found out like maybe last week that the term Get It Girl was coined by like Whoopi Goldberg randomly because she messed up on her lines for something and then it kind of just spun from there. So the idea that that's all it takes for Get It Girl to be like a common thing now, I'm like, all right, I'm here for the Do It Lady. I feel like that needs to be on a shirt somewhere, and I'm definitely saying it all the time. Okay, somebody said
Hold
Morris
on.
Chestnut. While he is all kinds of fine, I don't know that he fits the role. They're looking at Damson Idris for the new Black Panther, so that's the rumor going around.
Kofi Siriboe, right?
Who is that?
Now, who gonna take him serious though? Like,
fine, yeah.
oh, that's
Put some
Hodge.
locks
Aldous
in.
Hodge.
Yeah.
He's
But
some
isn't
kind of fine
he-
too, so I'm here for that.
Yeah.
You know, who else is like not classically fine, but fine to me and isn't in the MCU? Lakeith Stanfield, and he does woo-woo vibes very well. So
he'd have to bulk up just a little
he
bit.
would.
That's what I was about to say.
He would.
He would.
Are y'all gonna hate me if I say Sterling K. Brown?
No,
But
I love
he,
Sterling K. Brown. You know what? I like that though. But wait, wasn't he?
But he was definitely
already
in Black Panther.
Yeah,
He was. He was the brother.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They went and gave everybody checks. So
Okay. What about? He may be a little young, but I think because he's a good actor and you give him time, I can't think of his name, but he played. So have y'all seen the Book of Clarence?
Yeah, I know you're
so
talking
the one
about,
that plays opposite of Lakeith, and he was also in Rap Shit as the baby daddy with the dreads. And I think he's from Florida. I can't let me Google his name. I like him.
He was in the Heart
I
They
love his
Fall.
acting too. He was also in Power Rangers. He was the Blue Ranger.
He was in Heart They Fall.
Yes, he was. He was in that too. Yes.
Okay.
I
know who you're talking about.
RJ Seiler.
Yes.
I don't think he's fine enough.
What?
No shade.
He's not big enough.
Yeah, no shade.
It's
he's
weird
a
to
different type
say
of
to
fine.
objectify him like that.
Don't treat him like sugar and grits, Bree. Don't do that.
You know what? That was uncalled for. Okay, that was uncalled for. And I was just gonna say, I've loved him in all of his roles, and like I do Coachella every year, and he did like the theatrics for Shabuzi's performance at Coachella. So I just have him in mind in a different way. I can't see him filling that role in that way. But it does need to be somebody buff, because listen, he was another one of the thirst traps in the current Storm run, and I'm just like, he needs to look like that all the time. I mean, just one time for the one time, and they better not change a thing about that suit. That's all I know.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I was locked into the Storm run. I was locked in anyway, but I was locked in for the
them splash page thirst traps.
Oh yeah,
very much. Yeah.
Very much.
Not Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Okay.
Theo?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Not Theo.
Okay. See, now that y'all reacted that way, so I don't know. I have someone here.
Wait, okay. People are saying more names in the chat. Who is that?
Nah,
the one that plays Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
The Doctor Who. No.
He's not. Yeah, no.
What about this
Pfeiffer?
one? No.
I don't know who that is.
No. Hold on. Who is that? I don't know. I'm bad with names.
I don't know who
so
Justin
I'm
Marcel
Googling
McManus
everything.
is. Yeah. Y'all
Oh, actually, no. Google that.
Can you pull it up? Let's see.
Okay, maybe this is a different picture. I don't know. This is him. Yeah, never mind. Maybe. You put locks on him? No. I don't see his whole body. Oh,
I know
that
they
was
need
not
to
a
get
good
on
picture of him.
whoever was in charge of the locks in the MCU.
Okay, this is a different picture of him.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, he's cute, but he's not giving me voodoo vibes.
If you added the locks and he bulked up like maybe another 15 pounds, he might have it.
I mean, if we're going to go for like locks and stuff, you might as well cast Wale and give him a job. First of both of y'all faces, Bree and Ravynn, y'all did it at the same time. Y'all was like, no.
No, because I love Wale, but nah. Also, I don't think
he's serious. He was in American Gods. I like that. I was like, I can see it.
If I didn't already like Donald Glover as Prowler.
Absolutely not.
No?
No.
He I don't know. He put that shit on for Lando. I feel like he could crank up the energy because he has range to do it.
The problem for me is that like Voodoo gotta be like kingly. He's gotta be like, and like he doesn't give stately to me. Like he doesn't give like natural like charisma that you don't have to like reach for. You know what I'm saying? It's not, it's almost like it's just like I just walk in.
If Winston Duke wasn't who he was in Black Panther.
Or Sterling K. Brown, like y'all said before, because if we're talking about kingly, he gives king vibes.
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all,
Winston Duke would have been a great Dr.
Winston
Voodoo.
Duke.
Just off of
and them thighs.
Winston Duke, help the children.
The thighs and the Dave Duke's baby.
Yo,
I really can't
all those posts.
Doing all this.
This has stuck with me ever since Wakanda Forever. Somebody said, you know how they have them reading the like tweets that people have said about them, the actors are saying it. One of them said, M'Baku could blow my back out, and I was like, Yes, I said it on Beyonce's internet. Facts. But yeah, I don't know. This is okay. I love how this had just completely gone off the rails and we still haven't found an appropriate cast for it, but this is good. Okay.
Not John Boyega.
Yeah, I want him to like have his big movie franchise bag, but not in that role.
Yeah.
This is tough.
Star Wars needs to do him right.
Justice for him.
I think he's so over it. the all of the hot garbage he was talking about, the way that they did him for that, I think he's done with Star Wars. They would have to like put a whole hell of a lot in that contract, and even now, like that, the way that they played that series, well, not series, but that like grouping of movies, I guess. I don't know how they're going to recover. They need to just try going other directions at this point, because that's not it. Room full of Blerd said, "Oh, he ain't coming back to Star Wars ever."
Ever.
That's fair. Okay, so we've already gone. We had some fun with casting. We have our ideas about what we think is coming next. I really hope that we're going to get a season 2 sooner rather than later. And now that you guys have put it in my head, I'm really hoping that that gap in the upcoming phases is giving us an opportunity for Strange Academy, because that would be awesome. That would really be awesome. And then after that, we're getting like mutants and whatever, so then it could go any number of ways. What I will say though, I need the MCU.
You don't want mutants?
No.
I don't
Oh, you
want
don't?
the MCU to ruin mutants for me because I love X-Men and I am nervous about them. Like, we got Fox had highs and lows, they had some goodies, they had some baddies. Because they with this whole Blade thing and them trying to figure out who they want to cast, they couldn't even recast Wolverine, so they brought back Hugh Jackman. Not that I don't like him, but they couldn't even find another version. So I'm nervous about what they would do with mutants. I want mutants, I just don't know if I want MCU mutants. Like X-Men 97 is fire. If they stay animated, keep them animated. I don't know if I want to.
We need MCU mutants to make up for the tragedy that was that Apocalypse movie.
Agreed. And that was horrible too.
And they really just need to, like, I think that they're going to do it right. But what I was going to say is, I feel like before they do anything else, somebody needs to correct the egregious error of playing Photon to the left the way that they have.
Preach.
Because while I thoroughly enjoyed the Marvels movie, that was not the avenue to let any of those characters shine. And if you were going to let it be a filler like that, you shouldn't have done that. You should have let Carol Danvers have her team up filler movie with somebody else, and let Miss Marvel have her shine that she deserved, and let Photon have her debut that she deserved, because we got to see her sprinkled in here and there. And it's like that, while it was fun, it felt like they didn't give enough to the story to make it its own thing. It very much gave, we can be hand wavy with the plot and everything else, and have it not really be connected to anything else, because we're just letting it be a filler movie. And for it to be the first like all women team up movie, that felt disrespectful to me.
I think that's my only gripe with the Marvels movie, is that they didn't connect them to anything, which is why I'm excited about what they did for Riri, because it's like they were very intentional with connecting her to the larger story, right? But I loved the Marvel movie. I feel like Photon could have gotten a lot more of who she is and like how she is connected to, Captain Marvel and all of that. And I feel like during marketing, they tried really hard to show the connection between the three, like to help people understand. Like when the movie came out, then you also had the omnibuses of all three characters coming out at the same time. So like they re-released Photon during that time to like show that she was one of the first Captain Marvels. But like, I don't know. I can't say I walked away from Marvels thinking like they absolutely needed to change it. I just think that they should have made it so that we see more of them later on. Like maybe tied that movie into a second season of Miss Marvel, right? Like, so after she gets back from all of that, then like seeing who she is as a character afterwards, right? Or putting Photon in another. I feel like they did a disservice of dropping the characters after that, and that's probably why it could feel like that to a lot of people.
Yeah, they set it up to be a throwaway. The stakes weren't high enough within like the overall MCU for it to feel important enough. You know what I'm saying? And then the fact that they like, while I thoroughly enjoyed that part of the movie, they literally Disney princessified the Marvels, and they should have gone the exact opposite of that, because they knew the fanboys were going to tear it down because it's an all women team. You know what I mean? They should have put some respect on their name so that way everybody else had no choice to like hold that movie in high regard and keep talking about it in the continuity of the MCU. But they didn't. They let it be a throwaway almost.
But the high stakes
cutscene
wouldn't have come from those movies though, because the high stakes that would require them to like be that kind of action would require like the entire world ending, and like it would be like some real messed up
They do
right,
that
like
every
we
5
deserve
minutes
more.
anyway. And the
Fair.
cutscene of connecting it to the X-Men, to me, they could have connected it to something more integral and like the path, the trajectory of the MCU, and put it on the other side of this phase so that it directly links up with X-Men, and then it would have been kept the momentum. Instead, right now it's like a drop off, it feels like. So I'm hoping that whatever that gap
failed in a lot of ways.
I hope that whatever that gap is in the list of what's coming up in the upcoming phase has something that will pull them up out of that hole that they dropped them in. Because Miss Marvel and Photon are way too cool characters to just get left over there. Yeah. Wait. Sidebar, where is Kamala?
Recruiting the Young Avengers. That's where
There
we
you
look.
go.
That's where we saw her last.
Period.
She in the streets.
Yeah, she needs
As
streets.
she should be.
I
Yeah.
hope Photon comes back too. Okay,
Yeah.
I loved the princess shit. I just was mad that that was like one of the cooler main things that we got out of the movie. If you notice, they left
cast
all
had me
female
happy
heroes
that
in
whole movie.
cliffhangers. That's a good point, Dwayne. Feeling okay, it can feel like that, but we have room to recover. That's what we're hoping for. Ironheart is
Yeah.
pulling it out right now, so we hope we get more of that same energy.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Right.
It was okay. Oh, I'm sorry you felt that way. Oh, she's in Cali. Yeah, she's out here kicking it with me. That's it. You know, that's the homie.
And
We went
she's writing
talking
her
about
own
that.
stories. Like
Yes.
one time for
Literally.
yeah.
How iconic is that? She was like, and I love how like open she is on like red carpets and everything else, correcting people about like what's 616 and what's not, and referencing back to the comics. And like she's a prime example of one of those, they made the right one famous, or they put the right one in the role, because she cares so much about the role that she went on to write a run about her. And I'm just like, you know what? More of that. More of that.
She's written 2 runs for them right now. I'm like, anything she's writing for, yeah. I'm so excited for that. Like they knew with her, they're like, yeah, you can have
We could
this.
trust the story with her. Okay, someone says, thoughts on the creative team contending with the executive team. I feel like I forget that there are a lot of genuine fans making the film and movies who can't tell the story they want. Okay, Dr. Stringfield, what was that reaction?
Yeah, that's how you said a lot.
Are we putting genuine fans in the genuine, like what was the, can you put the comment back up? I'm trying to like read again. Like,
okay, we love that energy.
We're close reading. Yeah.
There are a lot of genuine fans making the films, movies who can't tell the story. That is, do we really think like, okay, so and I say this a lot, right?
Yeah.
Are people who like comic books, I mean like really like and read comic books, making comic book film and TV projects? I'm asking as a serious question, because you can tell when the creative teams like reading. That is why everybody loves Into the Spider-Verse movies. Like that is why everyone who worked on that movie loves like the tradition of comic books, right? And like really respects the tradition of comic books. Wait, what were you gonna say? X-Men
97. They were pure comic book fans in that writer's room.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah,
that's just my big thing. I don't know if that's like true.
Yeah, it is. Have you seen the video? It's literally like a compilation of the directors and executive producers from like the last slew of MCU films saying that they never read the comics, or they were told not to read the comics because
we can tell.
yeah.
I think that's why Riri stands out in a lot of ways for me, because one, they stayed true to who she is, and then you realize at the end of it that Eve Ewing is also a consulting producer for the show. So I'm like, they made sure that, you know, they referenced her in a lot of different ways, which is fantastic. You know,
giving peak, they not like us, because they said put some respect on the canon, okay?
But wait, so me and Ravynn were talking about this in the DM. Somebody posted it. Did y'all see her cameo in episode 1 that she was coming out of the store with Shanaka? Eve was in there when after she crashed and she met Landon to get the wagon. Her and Shanaka are walking out of the store looking at Riri like, girl, what you doing?
Oh, I didn't even peep that.
We
didn't see it either until somebody else posted it, and we were like, what?
Now that's how you do that. That's how you do that there.
See,
I think my heart, the thing that I always have. Oh, go for it.
Oh no, people who watch the show on 2.5s, or like they watch it like half speed or some shit to get everything. I want to have that level of dedication, but my goodness.
Easter egg hunters, yeah.
Right.
What were you gonna say, Dr. Stringfield?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think part of my less about kind of thinking about that comment again. I have less issues with like the fans, like the supposedly fan creators on the like executive and creative teams that can't make the story. I think something that I struggle with, especially when we're talking about like superheroes that have like whatever your particular cultural background is, whether it be like the Black American Chicago experience, whether, you know, like whatever the thing is, I think the thing I struggle with is that like it seems like we can't always get a person who like, so for example with Riri, I think we do it, but I think a lot of times with these projects you either get people who really love Black people but like don't like comic books, or you get people who really like comic books but don't like really like love the Black culture of it, which is why I love Ironheart so much, because I feel like we did in fact get both the love of the comic book tradition and also like the love, I mean even just the soundtrack. Like if you just had to play back the music alone, I would be like, yeah, y'all really ate that. Y'all really ate that. And so like that's kind of where I struggle sometimes with these projects, because it's like I want both. Like I want you to really love Black people and I want you to really love comics at the same time, and we don't always get that.
Yeah, at the same damn time. I feel you on the music, because I was like, we got Floetry and Erykah Badu on the soundtrack.
Yo.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Yeah, they definitely did their thing with that. They were like, we're just gonna make it hella vibey. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, so good. So good, so good.
It is a vibe.
It's when she I'm over here trying to watch it. So it's when after she drops out of the sky, right?
Yes. And she meets Landon and they're talking in front of that store. You see the two women come out of the store and like Eve turns around and looks at her like, girl.
Oh, no. See, this is exactly what Keisha was talking about like paying attention to the background, because the way that my squirrel brain was like, what's going on?
Was not paying attention.
Yeah.
Right.
But that is such a dope Easter egg. See, that's the type of Easter egg I'm here for. You know what I mean? Like, give me all of those. We love to see that. Woo. Man. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, snap. It is them.
He just said, I need proof. I need to confirm.
No, that's just so cool. Watched it like 3 times. Didn't even recognize that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh. That just lets you know there's always room for a rewatch, guys, because you never know what you might find. Okay, room full of Blerd seen them.
Mm.
And Bama says he wants to see more Black folks in sci-fi and fantasy, and I can agree
Always.
with that.
They out here.
Mm-hmm.
They are out here.
Yeah, I'm about to say they're out there. There's some dope shows out there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what else is everybody watching lately?
Okay.
The K-pop Demon Hunters had me in a chokehold this weekend. I watched it 3 times and have been walking around the house singing Soda Pop and Golden.
I love that. I haven't watched it yet. Keisha was literally just telling me you need to watch it, among
So
other people.
good.
Yes.
So good. If you love Turning Red, it has those same vibes.
Oh,
It's
I loved
so good.
Turning Red.
Oh man, it's my songs are How We Do and Idol. Some about I love a good villain song, and so Idol just hits the spot. And I find myself now watching all the dance choreography on YouTube of people redoing. I'm like, oh yeah.
Why do people already have cosplays? They were at Anime Expo this weekend. I was like, how did y'all make these cosplay? This movie only been out 2 weeks.
Listen, we were just talking
one of those
about
cosplays
SDCC.
is so accurate.
They have a meetup
crazy.
at SDCC for the K-pop Demon Hunter cosplayers.
I want to do Rumi, but I don't know if I can get together that purple wig in enough time because I already had my cosplay set up and I was like, that's more time and money, but I love her. I love her. She's my fave.
Cute.
Now mine's is oh man, I don't even remember their names, but red hair. I love just how like dark her personality is.
Mira, I think it was Mira, right?
Yeah, she's not the one from Burbank.
Yeah, that's is it Zoe? I think it's Mira. The little, yeah. I think that's her. It was good. Also been watching Apothecary Diaries. I've been watching that. It's an anime. They just finished season 2. So good. Definitely love it. And for nerd stuff, I don't know if y'all have ever seen Mythic Quest on Apple TV, but they have another like spin-off show called Side Quest where it's like an anthology. Their episode 2 full list, and it's about a Black comic book shop owned by a Black woman, and it's like a day of these different characters that come in there and they're all waiting for this one comic, but they're talking about different type of blerds and gamers, and it has like the janitor from Abbott Elementary, he's in it. One of the kids that plays in Abbott Elementary is in it, but it's such a cute episode that I keep watching it over and over, and it's a standalone. So I'll be like, if you have Apple TV, watch Side Quest, but only watch the pull list episode. The rest of them are cute, but that's the one that's about a Black comic book shop. And that has been on repeat in the background for me lately.
Okay, period. How about you, Dr. Stringfield? What you been watching?
I just came back from Superman. So that was what all right. I'm saying just like wild stuff on the internet today, apparently. But one of the things that is like very annoying about me is that I don't actually like any Superman films, live action Superman films. I have seen every Superman live action film and I don't like any of them. This one is my favorite Superman film to date, and it's still not better than any of the TV shows.
The high praise and then knocking it back down to earth immediately after is key. That was excellent.
I'm gonna remind you of your place in life.
Listen. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I think they really nailed the tone. I think they really nailed the core of like Clark Kent as a character, Superman as a character. I think that, and of course, Lois connoisseur. So I thought Rachel Brosnahan was great. I loved that. There's some stuff that's like lame, that's not even like corny. Because I do think that Superman is like in his best adaptation, he's corny. Because he is like that's just kind of what he is. He's kind of like a corny dude, right? But like even for that, there was some stuff where I was like, I could have done without that. But yeah, like definitely like a solid, like I think probably a very, very solid Superman movie, and still not better than any of the TV shows or animated movies that exist.
I think that's the story of DC in general.
Hmm.
DC has
Yeah.
very rarely like their TV shows and animated movies, shows have always been superior. They epically
Yep.
fail
Yep.
at live action movies.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
But this isn't a failure. This isn't a failure. Like if you weren't considering all of the other media that exists, like if you were literally just looking at the movies, I was like, this would be like top 1, 2, you know, like of the movies for me, like for sure. But like unfortunately you have to contend with, you know, all of the other like the all the other things that exist. So
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna watch it, but like, yeah.
And that's also a very valid opinion too. Like there are lots of reasons why you shouldn't go see that movie, not least of all including James Gunn. Like, I mean, like there are lots of reasons why you should not watch that movie. But like, you know, I'm committed. I'm committed to my character. This is my brand. So yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah, you gotta respect that.
Yeah. It's kind of like, unfortunately, how I felt about Aquaman, because I fell in love with him with the what was it, Brandon Thomas, Chuck Brown. Like they did that run with Aquaman, The Becoming, and something like that section of Aquaman I fell in love with, and I was like, yeah, let me watch the movie, and just deeply regret it. But I'm happy you don't have regrets walking out of that movie.
It had Jason Momoa in it, and it still didn't make me watch it.
Don't care. It was terrible.
That's what I'm saying. It still didn't make me watch it. I just was like, it's fine. It's okay.
Not y'all doing my guy AC like that.
Well,
even with Black Manta in it, I was like, oh, this is terrible. It's
That's
bad
fair.
watching that movie after you've watched Wakanda Forever, because you're like, this is how you're supposed to shoot shit underwater. Because what the hell was that?
Stop.
So
Really how I felt.
oh no, tell us how you really feel, Keisha. Oh my gosh. Okay, so before we wrap things up, the excitement of going to Comic-Con is real, and we are trying to get our lives together so we could be at our best and do all of the things and miss as little as possible. But it's baby's first Comic-Con. I've never been to an official Comic-Con. I've been to like smaller things. So this is peak. The fact that we're doing our first SDCC and it's together as a part of programming is still blowing our Delulu minds in the best possible ways. But now we want to hear from everybody, like, what is, and I don't mean just like pack deodorant and wet wipes. What is your best, like, how to survive and best experience San Diego Comic-Con advice? We want to drop it in the comments, and we want to hear from you lovely ladies as well. And also, like, what are you most looking forward to at this year's con or any upcoming cons?
My advice would be, because last year was my first time going to that one ever. It is very overwhelming. There are so many people. There are so many things going on. The city itself is like a living comic, because the things they have on the buildings, the activations, like the moment when you step off the plane into the airport, I would say, take your time. No, you're not going to see everything, and be prepared for lines on top of lines, because the outside stuff is completely free. You don't need a badge. So everybody is outside. So yeah, somebody said comfy shoes and a mask, but also just take your time. if you have things you want to see, mark like your top 3 that you're committed to going to. And then if you don't get to do anything else, and I also always recommend taking a day away from the con. I know a lot of people are like, well, that's what I'm here for. But like when I took a day away from the city. I went to like the Comic-Con Museum. I went to like Little Italy. I wanted to see San Diego, and I went and had dinner by the harbor. And then when I came back the next day, it was like, I kind of got a refresher because I got to breathe, because everything, it was just so much happening at once. So I would say do your top 3 things. And if you can, if that's something you want to do, take a day or even half a day away from the con and still explore the city, because you're still going to be engulfed in everything that San Diego has to offer. And just be prepared for the line. Oh, and what I would tell you to pack is what I seen somebody else have, the little compactable drum seats for sitting in the lines. I ordered one of those, and I'm taking it because you're going to be standing. Pop it up, sit on it. It folds right back into a cute little compact purse. Take that with you, because
I already found us pink ones, Keisha.
Yeah. Oh, you got them? Yeah.
I definitely ordered mine. I was like, let me share the link. I was like, is this me being an old lady? But the fact that you just confirmed it, now I can say it with my chest. Yes, I searched for that thing because I've seen them at music festivals before, and I was like, you know what? We might be standing in a lot of lines. Now's my time to actually get one of those. They're fairly inexpensive, and they have them in pink. So I'm just gonna put some pink Riot stickers on it. Go about my business.
I love.
Oh no, the only thing I made sure of is the book bags. Just making sure we have a book bag to carry everything, because I don't want to carry nothing in my hands.
Take snacks and water.
Yeah.
You can bring food into the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Look at my book bag.
Yeah.
You don't want to buy their overpriced, unflavored convention center food. And if you're standing in line, like protein bars, Cheez-Its, water, I would do it. But there are also a lot of restaurants, because you're downtown, to get regular food. But when you're in there, bring snacks and water.
Yeah,
I want to try some food trucks.
Keisha would be up at the Ras Clot of dawn, and I know I'm not a morning person at all. I was like, man, I'm about to really be running off of caffeine and Rice Krispie treats the whole time, because we're gonna be there all of the day. Okay, educational panels at the library. Okay. Sunscreen, water bottle, Band-Aids, hand sanitizer, Sharpies. Okay.
Yep, I got that. First aid kit I have in my bag, because, yep.
The way that I bought pink Sharpies for all of my blank variants so that I can get them sketched on. I'm waiting for all the programming so we can make our list. And you guys, Keisha was like, the Hello Kitty Cafe truck is going to be there. I put that on our itinerary. I was like, ah! She knows me so well. I'm so excited.
And if you're a fan of Abbott Elementary, if you don't make it to any of the outside activations, go to the Abbott one. The Abbott one, 10 out of 10. They're doing a block party. They did a carnival last year. It is... And then the cast, if they come there this year, they came out there, and they also had the Philadelphia Eagles marching band come out and do, like, they flew them out there, and I was like, oh my God. So if you
they got a panel this year too.
So do Abbott. If you do any outside activation, do the Abbott. They're all great. They're all fun. The Anime Mayhem, all of that. But Abbott Elementary, put that at the top of the list.
Period. Yeah, I'm down with that. I'm so excited for this.
You guys.
And Sunday, because they're trying to clear everything out, is the best day to go buy artwork, because they're usually selling it at half price or left, because they don't want to ship it all back.
Didn't we just say that? I was like, we gonna do that last walkthrough.
The Funko Pop too, because they'll be like, you need a reservation, but on Sunday they let you slide into the Funko booth, because they are also trying to get that all that out of there, whatever's left over.
I really hope that they have, like, because did y'all peep that the new Ironheart Funko Pops got released or whatever, but they're not going to be available till September? I hope they have them at the con early. That would be amazing. No, you don't think so?
Yeah, there's a lot of exclusives that they won't even have there, and they don't
Mhm.
ship them until August.
Mm-hmm.
Boo.
Yes, and you need to watch Abbott Elementary.
Yes,
Yeah.
you do need to watch it.
I
We
got
love
all
it.
4 of my Abbott Elementary Funkos.
Same.
I love that show so much.
And I want them to release the rest of them because I would love to have Jacob, Miss Shimenti, everybody. I was like, bring them all out.
Right? The whole
The whole crew, Mr. Johnson, everybody.
I would love a Mr. Johnson Funko.
That'd be hilarious. Wait, Dr. Stringfield, are you a con girly?
I prefer small regional cons because I get really overwhelmed. So like even the small, like, I mean, the ones that I go to are like regional state and they're still pretty big and they're a lot for me. So like, I'm very much a like one day I go and like I do whatever I'm supposed to do and I come home. I'm not. It's just the crowds are too
That's
much for
fair.
me, to be honest with you.
That's
Mhm.
fair.
That's me
Okay,
too.
so what is your advice for us going for 4 days?
Oh, I don't know because I don't know if I have, and if I have any
Absolutely
advice,
not.
I don't know. I do not.
Okay.
I have 2 sets of, because I get overwhelmed with loud noises, like to the point where I'm like bawling tears. It's really bad. So with cons, I've learned to have my sunglasses. So I have prescription shades that I'll wear everywhere. I'm not gonna really make eye contact with too many people. I know it's bad, but like, this is how I make it through. And I have 2 sets of earplugs. So I have ones that go in my ear, and then I have my overhead ones just in case I can't like stop all of it. And so, yeah.
Smart.
I know this looks like it's put up well together, but I am hot mess in public. So
It looks put together because it is. It's popping, period. You're
ah,
gonna have your earplugs and we're gonna do the bear hand signs so you don't have to hear nothing and go about our business. Because no, I've already said Keisha's like, look, I already know this is my time frame, and I was like, fine, we're just gonna take breaks and do what we gotta do. My social battery don't run out. It's just we're like I said, I'm gonna be all hopped up on Mountain Dew and Rice Krispie treats the whole time. And Keisha's probably gonna be looking at me like, girl. But we're gonna persist because we got goals in mind. But I completely understand that, Dr. Stringfield. Know your limits, because I love doing music festivals, and I've learned from going with different friends and stuff that it's like, okay, this is not most people's default. It can very much be a lot, so I get that.
I plan on not speaking to anyone for like a
But me.
solid 2 weeks afterwards.
Yeah,
That's what it
it'd
is.
be like that.
Need to,
It'd be like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 It's a lot. You get it, and I appreciate you for that.
Me and Keisha
So
will
much.
probably do a good job together at the con, like not speaking, but like being buddies. Yeah, like we would probably have a good time together.
Yeah.
No, you got to partner an introvert with the extrovert, so there's balance.
Yes, I agree.
Extroverts be wanting you to go and like talk to people. If you go with another introvert, you can observe together. But if you go with another extrovert, the extrovert's going to be like, "Hey, do you want to like go talk to the celebrity?" I do not.
No,
I do not.
Me
But
being
you
the
stand on the side
extrovert,
for support.
me being the extrovert and with the introvert buddy, I'm like, hey, it would be really great to go talk to that person. Where can I find you so we don't get lost? Or do you want to be over here or over there? But I'm gonna go do it. And if you want something signed, give it to me.
We just had that conversation about who's gonna do interviews and stuff, and I was like, this is not really a question, but sure. Let's play. It's you. It is you.
All of the
So
vibes.
just to let y'all know, if you see Bree in like 70% of these reels, we know why. Keisha's holding the camera.
Yeah, I already told her like we're gonna do like she's gonna do her pre-recorded intro and outro, and it's gonna be because she wants to be the guy with the camera. And I'm like, this is fair. Balance. So you will see both of us, just not doing the same thing.
If I know the person, if I've spoken to them online, then you're gonna see me. But like cold calling and walking up to a random person, absolutely not.
She said cold
That sounds
calling.
horrible.
No, we're making friends and connections at the con. All 4 days. Y'all just pray for me because Keisha wakes up hella early and she wants us to be at the con hella early.
Not every day.
That's more than half of the days. If you guys haven't noticed, Keisha be deep in the bed at 9 p.m. her time unless we have a live. And I be deep in the bed if I don't have to be up for work in the morning. So it's going to be interesting, guys. It's going to be interesting. Send us all your thoughts. But we appreciate you lovely ladies coming to join us. We want to make sure that you have time to share with everyone where they can follow you and pick up any of your work or where they can catch you next. So we like to give you time for quick shameless plug of all of the things to do with you so people can find you after today.
I'm going first.
Go for it.
So you can find me on my website, www.ravynnstringfield.com. I'm on most of the socials at Ravynn Kamia, RAVYNNKAMIA, with the exception of TikTok, because for some reason, like, that was not available. So it's Ravynn Stringfield on TikTok. Don't ask, I don't know. But I'm most often on Instagram. You can most often find me on Instagram. And then if you want to support my work, again, the two young adult book titles that I have out are Love Requires Chocolate and Love in 280 Characters or Less. You can pretty much get it online from any of your favorite retailers. But if you would like to support a Black-owned bookstore out of Virginia, Resist Booksellers in Petersburg, Virginia is my favorite place to order my book.
Yes. Period.
Wait. Dr. Stringfield, do you have anything else coming up?
It's a shameless plug time. This is going to be our offline conversation. We'll talk about what's I can't, nothing I can promote right now, but I'll let y'all know. I'll let y'all know offline.
Period. Booked and busy. We love to see it.
Yeah, so I probably should get a website. I like to do tech things. I don't like to build tech things for myself. So you can just find me at, it's like Hines_solo on most of the socials. If you want to read any of my academic work, feel free to look it up on Google Scholar. Most of the stuff that I write about is comic stuff. It's comic stuff in education and kids. I write a lot about DC Comics and also recently the Champions. I have a few things coming out about the recent run of Static Shock, so that will be dropping soon. And I am working on a project about Moon Girl that I'm really excited about, so that will be later, much later, but we working on it. That's my other favorite Marvel girly besides Riri and Shuri. So yeah, that's that's it. And or if you just want to chat me up about cosplays and talk about all type of nerdy stuff, I'm always online to just talk about TV shows, comics, and any type of fun stuff. So hit me up.
Yeah, all of the vibes. Thank you, lovely ladies, so much for coming through and sharing your expertise and your viewpoints and kikiing with us a little bit. We definitely will be finding some way to have you back because we had way too much fun and we're officially fellow Blerdy Baddies. Yes, we will definitely be hopping in your DMs when we figure out the D&D situation. Because we want it to be like a Blerdy Baddies Unite D&D campaign.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fire.
Oh, we gonna be the campaign. I can't wait.
Period.
Yeah. Well, be prepared to have your custom dice ready.
Okay. That's right. You did say they were going to be one shots. Okay, got you. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. We appreciate all of you, Riot fam. Shout out to everyone who has signed up already for our Patreon. We love every single one of our subscribers. We appreciate you guys for showing us love and for pulling up in that space and supporting us. If you don't know already, you can definitely check out our links in our bios and sign up for the Patreon. We have a free tier and they go up in increments. Obviously, the highest tier gets you the most gas and the most juice in terms of decision making about what you see on the show and what books we talk about and that sort of thing. But we love to see you in the space and we appreciate your support. We also have a fundraiser going on because these cons and these comics, they ain't gonna pay for themselves, y'all. So if there's anything you can do to support us, we would totally appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, follow, comment, subscribe on all US platforms. If you don't have time to watch us on YouTube, guess what? You can pull us up on Spotify and check out the podcast. This week's episode will show up next week on the podcast, so that way you have time to catch up. It's a present.
Tomorrow.
Okay, y'all. See,
Yeah, the podcast
Keisha be
drops the very
consistently
next day
upgrading.
at noon.
Okay, period. So we've upgraded. Let me upgrade you. So make sure you check out our podcast and show us some love, get some streams, rate us over there. Anything that you do to acknowledge our content and interact with our content, we really, truly do appreciate. We're trying to get our numbers up so we can make big moves and give you guys more of the content that we love and enjoy and that you love and enjoy. So yeah, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you scroll up, scroll down, check out another episode that maybe you missed from another week. And if you're even not going to watch it, maybe just let it run in the background because we need the streams. Let's be real. And either way, we'll see y'all at the same damn place at the same damn time because ain't no weeks off and we love kicking it with y'all. See you next time. Bye.
Later.
I definitely found more. All right, how many variants are there?
11.
Damn. Go ahead. No.